right, Capricorn, welcome into your weekly reading. This is a weekly reading for March 7th through 13th. For today, I'm going to be consulting some oracle wisdom from Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace, and then getting some tarot around that to clarify. There'll be an extended reading available in the description box below where you can follow that, and we'll go deeper into the tarot and then see what animal spirit messages are come forth, what animal spirit is with you, Cappy, for the week of March 7th. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. Just go ahead and click subscribe, and that way when new content is posted to the channel, you'll receive those notifications. And then again, if you like this content, please go ahead and give a thumbs up on that. And then any additional content or comments, please provide those in the description box below that you might like to see on the channel, or any comments that you have and how this reading resonated for you. All right, Spirit, so for the week of March 7th, what's going on with our Capricorns? What is the magic of their own that they need to believe in? Your own magic, Capricorn. Spirit, please provide a message here for Capricorns for the week of March 7th. Thank you, Spirit. Expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. Well, Capricorn. What do we have here? So this is a card that pops out. It's a 12 card. So that reduces to a 3. So something maybe third party kind of coming off. Expectations, other people. Here is a woman sitting alone. She looks pretty sad. She's got a rose. Yeah, I mean, that third party just pops right out onto me. There's sort of these 3 flames in the background. This little fairy that's with her on her knee as she's sitting in the moonlight, kind of lamenting something, maybe trying to figure out how she can receive someone's approval. But the advice here in believing in your own magic, right, is that we don't need anyone else for our magic to be there to bloom. So don't seek anyone else's approval. And I'm afraid, Cappy, maybe that you have been doing that, right? That's why you're sitting there a bit despondent. People will always have their own expectations of who they think you should be. Their opinions are almost always based on restrictive societal norms, and therefore are extremely unrealistic. No matter what they tell you, remember that you have permission to be whoever it is you most wish to be. You don't need anyone else's approval, only yours. So, Cappy, it feels to me like you have something you want to be or do that is contrary to society. And whether that society is your own community, something larger in the society, if it's related to relationship, we'll look a little bit further here in the tarot, whether that is some job or some decision or career, some identity that you hold. There's something that other people's expectations are keeping you back from your magic, and you need to let that go. That's the advice that Spirit is saying. It's time to leave behind other people's expectations about who it is you should be, and using other people to tell you that you're good enough. It's time to strike out on your own, come up with your own definitions, right? We all need each other. We all live in communities. We're all part of society. But you need to come up with your own sense of self-worth. When you seek it from outside of yourself, it can lead to this place of disappointment, right? Other people's expectations about who you are, what you should be doing. You don't need their approval. To clarify, I'm going to go ahead and use this Mother Peace Tarot deck by Vicki Noble. It's the book that kind of corresponds with it. It's a great round deck I enjoy using. So I'm going to go ahead and use 4 cards in the reading. The first card is going to be what you think is going on in this situation, right? So what's going on for you this week? What do you plan to go on? What do you kind of expect? What are your plans around what's happening this week? The next card is what is actually happening. I'm going to get advice from your higher self, what your higher self is trying to bring in, and then what's not obvious to you about what's going on this week from the card underneath the deck. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. High Priestess. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. This is what you're stepping into being the High Priestess. You've got some intuitive knowing, some secrets about who you are. Yeah, some secret knowledge, some secret power. And this is going up against tradition for you, right? This is other people's expectations. Maybe you're challenging some societal norms with the wisdom and knowledge that you have. So there's something going on. Maybe you have some internal knowledge or secrets there for you, Cappy, that don't conform with other people's expectations. And then, so the challenge is you're seeking approval. This is, if you're the High Priestess, you have access to sacred knowledge that doesn't belong, that other people don't comprehend. And so, dance to the beat of your own drum here. This is not about, this is powerful energy. The High Priestess is a powerfully wise entity. And not everyone is going to get the High Priestess, and not everyone is the High Priestess. So certainly you don't want to use people who are beneath, or let's say maybe not as open or woke, right? I don't want to use this sort of hierarchical sense, but just aren't on her level, right? Aren't at this frequency. So what's actually going on here? This is Son of Cups in this deck, and that is Knight of Cups. And so there's this egg, this man sitting, very peacefully playing a flute, birds singing along, being in balance and at peace, right? And this is what you're bringing to the world. Like, you have a message of peace. You're bringing forth a message of peace to the world. Don't worry about other people's expectations, especially in this world. Like, this is not indicative. This peaceful, calm, serene energy coming off of this card. I don't know how many people operate in this kind of energy out in the world. Now, they might do that internally, but in the Yang expression, they're usually not doing that. So, you're kind of taken aback a little bit. You're in this very much a High Priestess kind of place in the woods. You've got spirits talking to you. You're smelling the rose. This idea of love. You have this wisdom. You're talking to the fairies. You're in the moonlight, right? Like, you're definitely in the High Priestess kind of place here. You have this kind of wisdom. It's not going to necessarily be understood by other people. And if you're looking for external approval for what you're doing, you're in the other world, right? Like, you're getting messages from like the other side, from the spirit world. So you're not going to find approval for that exactly in the sort of a mass, like the mass collective. So don't worry about what you're doing, because what you're doing is really bringing in peace, peace for yourself. And I suspect peace for others, but definitely you are a beacon of peace, right? You are serene. You are in a very much, this sort of meditative, solid, contemplative place. What is your higher self bringing in? Justice, balance. Wow, lots of powerful energy here, Capricorn. So Justice is bringing in a balance. You can see these 3 people are working together with nature, bringing in a flow of new energy, new life, being in harmony and balance with one another, having communities that are balanced, being in balance with nature. Justice is all about, at least in this particular depiction, is really about being in harmony So, you know, I just keep imagining trying to take this peaceful energy, the Zen person, plopping them in the middle of like any city in America, and then having people like get it. You know, it's not the approval that this person is getting for what they're doing is not in the external. It's in the internal. It's in one's connection to spirit. And what your higher self is doing is bringing things into balance and harmony within yourself and within your community, right? You're the high priestess. You have this wisdom, and it seems like you might be taking this wisdom out into the world, and maybe you're not getting the kind of reaction that you expected, but let it go. That's not what this is about. What you don't see is the Eight of Cups. Right. So you're walking your own spiritual path. You have this octopus with doing all these different things, and none of them are filling up your cup. So if you want to play by other people's expectations, even when you've tried to, it doesn't fill your cup. It doesn't matter what you've tried. And you've tried a lot of different things. You've worn a lot of different hats. And it's still, you know, met a lot of different people, a lot of different situations. You've tried to reinvent yourself and fit into different circumstances and situations, and it hasn't worked. And what you're not seeing is it's not going to. It's not going to, because you're on a different kind of journey. You're filling your cup up yourself, right? This is what's actually going on, is really bringing in your own source of love to yourself, and then you will eventually attract, right? You'll bring in others who are like you. You'll find them and you'll attract them to you. So at this time, Capricorn, I know this week you're going to be feeling a little bit like, I don't know why people don't get what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm not. People aren't saying this is wonderful. And maybe you feel like, hey, look, I brought back this knowledge from the other side. I'm the high priestess. I've got this wisdom, these secrets, this wonderful epiphany, and like people are like, I don't get it. I don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't fit, right? Because what you're doing is something that doesn't conform to society. It doesn't matter, because what your higher self is really trying to do is balance. And whenever I see something is out of balance with society, I think that's like dealing with inequality, situations of inequality. So somewhere you're bringing in balance to an unbalanced system. And that's what's actually going on here, right, with your Knight of Cups. All right, so Cappy, that is your reading for this week, March 7th. If you'd like to go further along, I will clarify deeper the energies that, what's going on behind these different energies for you, as well as get some advice from your animal spirit. Otherwise, have a good week.